So what is the best 4K action camera when it comes to price, performance, and features? In this video, I review the YI 4K action camera and see if it lives up to the hype. Coming up. Hey, what's up guys? Sean here with Think Media TV, helping you go further, faster in media. And on this channel, we do tech gear reviews and video gear reviews just like this one. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. And hey, at any point during the video, check out links and show notes in the description below. I'll list out the camera, the specifications, as well as bonus links and preview footage and things like that. Let's jump into the video. So YI sent me out this camera to review and it is incredible. Now, it's been out for a while and there's a lot of great reviews on YouTube about it. And a lot of people are calling the YI 4K the GoPro killer because you get such incredible performance, you get such a great user interface for a low, really budget price tag when you add everything up. The basic overview of the camera is that it's a 4K camera at 30 frames per second. You get a touchscreen interface, a great sleek build quality, as well as a lot of other frame rates and features. And I think the first thing to note starting out is just the image quality itself. I mean, before you get into all the nuances of any action camera, like what does it look like? Like what's the final product? And so I've been shooting a lot of different test footage with this. I've got some incredible snowboard footage. So up in the mountains in different lighting conditions, whether it was a little bit darker and the sun wasn't out and it performed, pretty well there. But then also when the sun would come out in the blue skies, things would just begin to pop. You just had that clarity. And whether shooting at 4K, 30 frames, or even shooting at 1080p and messing with some of the higher frame rates for slow motion, the footage just turned out really, really great. And that's partly to the Sony sensor that's in the camera. It's the newer version of the sensor. They're always upgrading, but it's one of the newer ones. And then you also have 7 layers of glass in there for the lens and a 2.8 aperture. And so that open aperture, it does great in even kind of low light conditions. No action camera is like phenomenal in ultra low light conditions, but you do have a really good light sensitivity. That sensor combined with the glass, combined with the aperture, just like produces some incredible results. I think next up is the frame rates. And so we did a lot of test footage with 4K 30 frames per second, and that looks awesome, whether just walking around or even some in Laguna Beach. And so we're down by the beach. We're actually using an EVO gimbal stabilizer, video coming soon on that. And so we were shooting this footage. I'm shooting with Benji from Video Influencers. We're doing like this running footage and it's super smooth from the gimbal, but then you can see just how beautiful the scenes look. And that's 4K 30 frames. But then as you go down from there, you get a lot of other frame rate options. Once we updated the firmware, which is really important to do, always update your firmware on whatever you're using. It actually opens up 2.7K for you up to 60 frames a second. And so that's nice. You can start doing a little bit of slow motion, but probably the biggest other frame rate we used was 1080p at 120 frames per second. And if you're new to this, FPS, frames per second, what's nice about those higher frame rates is that's where you're gonna get slow motion. I always edit my videos in 30 frames per second, 29.967 or whatever it is. And so if you shoot in 120, you basically can slow it down 4x. That's all, once you take that 120 footage and put it down into 30. And so as you can see, you could get really cool dynamic slow motion shots. And then there's a whole bunch of different frame rates in between. You also have a couple different fields of view. And so they have super mode where it's like ultra wide. You can do some where you can crop in more. And then you also had cool things like time-lapse features, super easy to use. And so we're up at Solitude, Utah, shooting some, time lapses just outdoors. As far as the audio goes, it is what it is. Sounds pretty good. It does have some built-in mics. There is not a mic input in this particular camera. Stay tuned because the YI 4K Plus is coming soon, and they're gonna be adding some even other features. But also I think that's gonna push the price up a little bit. But when it comes to audio on the YI, this model, it's pretty good. I typically don't look to try to get audio out of the action camera footage. I usually combine the action camera footage with other footage from other cameras, and so it's not the main source for audio. But if you did want to, check out the audio, you could hear this test right here. fast as you want. I think I can keep up.
Okay.
Live app, checking it out. We're just gonna test out some of the features. Wow, that's cool. And then as far as the overall build quality, it's got a great build quality. One thing to note about this particular camera is that it's not waterproof in and of itself, which I think is fine. But one huge benefit that the GoPro does offer is that it is the newer ones, the ones that are fully waterproof, then you could skip past a case like this. But in the case of the Yi, it doesn't come with really anything else in the box. So you can buy a waterproof case. And so a lot of times when snowboarding, I would shoot inside of this case, which I got off Amazon on this selfie stick. And that worked really good. And then I also did it one day, I forgot the right piece to it. So I did shoot it a little bit in snow. I was up in Lee Canyon in Las Vegas, and it was getting kind of wet. There was getting some moisture on there. I was trying to protect it, but I did not have, again, the case was not on there, but it still held up great. And so overall, the build quality is good, but it's important to note, in and of itself, it's not waterproof without a case like this. As far as what's in the box, they keep it pretty simple. You get the camera, you get one battery, you get that micro USB charging cable or transfer cable, and the manual. A couple other features are the Wi-Fi and the app. The Wi-Fi is 5 gigahertz, so that means speeds up to 30 megabytes per second. And it connects right up to the Yi app, which is actually one of the stronger features, again, of the whole product line of Yi. The app is very responsive. You can adjust camera settings right there on the app. And you also could transfer footage back and forth. So that's really great. And then, I haven't really delved into this, but they do offer some features for like quick video editing or photo editing and even adding music. And so I would typically think that would be for like robust editing. I'm typically gonna grab the footage, edit on Premiere, and take it back to like a laptop or a desktop. However, I love putting out micro social media content, right there on Instagram, or like native Facebook uploads and different kinds of content like that. And so being able to do quick edits and add some music and stuff right inside of the Yi app is super cool. Next up with the Yi, which I think is one of the standout features, is the controls themselves. So it's a full-on touchscreen controls, very responsive. I mean, you could tell some touchscreens are a little bit sketchy. This one it's just accurate. Wherever you touch, it's snappy, it's reacting well, and it's very intuitive. The menus, the settings, the options, they're all easy to find, easy to scroll to. And so overall, it has an incredible user interface and great touchscreen control. And then it also lists Gorilla Glass LCD. And so what's nice is when the camera is not in some sort of a case, so far it's not broken or anything like that. And so just the overall build quality on the screen, you could tell is quality. The other super cool thing about the user interface is playback. It's really easy to play back your video files, to click through them all, play them back, and then you can even scrub. So it's really nice. Sometimes if you shoot long clips, we're doing some outdoor kind of sports with snowboarding and whatnot, and you start it early and then it takes you a minute to start, and then you want to skip to, whatever scene. Really easy to do, and you can scroll up and down on the volume and scrub through clips right on the camera, fast, responsive. And that's definitely due probably to the processor in there that's really handling everything really well. A couple other features to note that stood out is that with the latest firmware update, again, update your firmware, you can go live, and so you can do that right from the app, and so you can stream live off the Yi to different social platforms. It also has LDC, that's this lens distortion correction. Kind of cool, because typically it's a fisheye type of a look, but with that turned on, it really flattens everything out. Things don't look fisheye anymore, and they crop in a little bit, which is really nice. Some of the things that we've been thinking about, again, with the EVO gimbal and with either the kind of a cropped in shot, is recording audio separate, and now you have a high quality camera that you could do those like walking on the street shots, like, hey, how's it going? You're walking down a path. Super stable, good audio, so that lens distortion correction and some of those features is awesome. It also has an auto low light setting. Haven't really tested it out, but it already performs pretty good in low light, but it kind of corrects for low light situations, which is nice. And then it has electronic image stabilization. And so we did a couple preliminary tests before we updated the firmware. And so you can see them here, they're kind of cropped, they're sort of a square image. That was 2.5K. The first impressions is that the electronic image stabilization is pretty nice. It takes out a little bit of the shake and the jitter, but again, it's not gonna correct things like a nice 3-axis gimbal would. And so generally, you can't go sprinting and have much of an effect. Typically, cameras, you don't realize it when you're shooting on the camera, but once you get it back to your computer, you'll notice a lot of shake. And so that EIS, the electronic image stabilization, really takes out some of that vibration, some of that shake. And now that we've updated the firmware, I actually realized like my go-to settings for snowboarding would be 2.7K, 60 frames per second, with the EIS on, because it's not available in all frame rates, right? If it's 4K, what it's doing with the EIS is it's cropping in a little bit to take away that shake. So EIS is not available at 4K, but 2.7 is great, and I'm typically editing at 1080, and forgive me for all of the tech speak, but I think that's now like the ultimate setup. You go 2.7, EIS on, and you are ready for like a killer action camera settings to get great results. As far as a couple accessories to note, I really recommend this selfie stick. Now, I've been using this, and I've had this ever since I did the first YI video, which was just an HD version, not 4K. And this selfie stick has endured all kinds of being wet, being, you know, frozen. Its build quality is super solid. And the Bluetooth remote is really nice, especially when it's inside of a waterproof case. And so this guy is like 45 bucks by itself. I think that's the best way to get it. That's on Amazon. We'll link it up in the description below. You can switch between photo mode, video mode, and start and stop recording. And so especially for the snowboarding situation, so consider what, you know, situations you might use it in. You can just have the camera powered on, turn it on and off, and that is a great accessory. The second up is the best way I think to get batteries, and it was one of the only ways I could find, was this Newmow battery kit. So I just bought this on Amazon. It gives you 2 extra batteries and a 3-bay charger. So now you can just charge all 3 batteries at once. The battery life, as is stated, is about 2 hours. I found that I never changed the battery 3 times in a day, but if there's a day of heavy shooting, I definitely changed it once. And so 3 seems like plenty. That guy's $16 US, and so that's worth checking out. The way I got the waterproof case was actually in this Kupton kit, and so this covers like this guy, which is a floaty selfie stick, so if you're out in the water, it doesn't sink. There's a car mount, there's a body mount, there's a head mount. But what I noticed was I actually haven't really used any of this stuff. All I wanted mostly was the actual waterproof case, and so that's something to check out. I'll link to that, but you can also buy these a little bit cheaper, I think under $10 to get just the waterproof case, which is pretty important. And then to note, which is so weird, is that inside of this case, and sometimes even when you order the waterproof case, it does not come with an actual tripod mount screw piece. It usually comes with one that clips in and out of the different pieces, but doesn't just go on a typical tripod or selfie stick. So that's also, I noticed, true for kind of GoPros. You almost always have to order that piece separate. And so I'll link up, you know, those can also be about $7. But you just want to make sure that it seems like a lot of different weird pieces that you have to assemble, but you know, want to make sure that you have like the necessary pieces. When I went snowboarding that one day, I did not have the tripod mount, so that's why I ended up running with the selfie stick and no case around it. But what's cool about the YI is that it does have that threaded tripod mount right on the bottom. And so if you're just out and about or you want to get the audio and it's not an extreme sports situation, this is a pretty good setup as well. Now, as far as the price, the YI 2 comes in at $200. So in comparison, why they call it the GoPro killer is because the Hero 5 Black is usually around $400. So it's double that. And when you go side by side, there's been a lot of other channels that have done the image comparison. It's like pretty close. And in some cases, the YI performs better. Some cases, the GoPro performs better. And so when looking at it, I definitely would say that, is the GoPro worth double the price, like Probably not, right? And also keeping in mind that you may need to spend a few more dollars on the different accessories and the things that you want to get. The other thing about the pros really to GoPro, if you were kind of trying to decide, is that it is waterproof in and of itself. And so it maybe saves you from needing to get that case. And then you can also go maybe directly onto a gimbal like this. One thing that is kind of a bummer about the YI is I can't get this on here with a waterproof case. It's just gonna go directly on the 3-axis gimbal. And then the other thing is that the GoPro's with the little cable is able to take an external mic. And so all that to consider, this camera has been out for a while. I think for $200, it's an insane deal. But one of the things that is gonna be coming out at a higher price tag very soon is the version up, the YI 4K Plus. So that's maybe something to keep on your radar as well. Gonna be adding things like the ability to do external mics, 4K at 60 frames, and a few other features. So as far as my conclusions, I've been able to test this extensively, and I have to say that at this point, it is my favorite all-around action camera. Now, you probably saw my video on the best budget action camera, talking about the T5e. Now, that one comes in at almost $100 cheaper. And so if you're really on a budget, that one's about $116. It's a super solid camera. But when I think about that extra investment into this camera and all of the different features that you get, the end result, I definitely think it's worth the investment. And again, best all around. So when you consider price and performance and features, and you're trying to find that sweet spot where you kind of get everything that you want for as low a price as possible, I definitely have to see that the YI 4K definitely stands out. I was able to learn it quick. And I think one of the most important things overall too is it just fun to use? And it's super fun to use, something I look forward to using. And I think that I'm also very excited about the YI 4K Plus. But again, as that pushes the price up a little bit, probably, this one would still be one that is gonna be a great investment no matter when you're seeing this video. I think you will not be disappointed with the YI 4K. And we actually edited this video in 1080p, so the 4K example footage is scaled down. So if you wanna see the full-on 4K footage, I actually uploaded a little montage on my channel, Sean Thinks. So that link is in the description. I'll also throw it on the YouTube card if you wanna see full-on 4K YI 2 footage. Question of the day: what features are essential for you when it comes to an action camera? Let me know in the comments below. Also, let me know what you think about the YI 2 4K based on this video. And remember that some of the best tips and feedback come from you, the Think Media TV community. So definitely connect with everybody in the comment section. So thanks so much for checking out this video. Definitely subscribe for more videos just like this. And if you haven't downloaded the Think Media TV Video Gear Buyer's Guide, it actually goes through my best recommendations for cameras, lighting, tripods, for every budget. So you can grab that for free. I'll link it up in the YouTube description as well as on the YouTube card. Until next time, Think Media TV is helping you go further, faster in media. Keep crushing it, and we will talk soon. Bam, 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 bam. Yeah, 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 yeah. So what is the best? So what is the best? So what is the best? We ready?